Jedi's weapon.
Perhaps I killed a Jedi and took it from him.
You're a Jedi Knight, aren't you?
What makes you think that?
I saw your laser sword. Only Jedis carry that kind of weapon.
Perhaps I killed a Jedi and took it from him.
I don't think so. No one can kill a Jedi.
I wish that was so. I'm Qui-Gon Jinn. You must have Jedi reflexes. Training to become a Jedi is not an easy challenge.
Always remember, your focus determines your reality.
I can only protect you. I can't fight a war for you. Be mindful of the living force in a better world. Don't think. Use your instincts. The force will guide us.
Hey there, Saber friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a very special lightsaber I have to show you today. It is a Qui-Gon lightsaber from the Phantom Menace. It's made by a very special custom lightsaber maker who we all used to admire years ago. His name is GOODMAN from ARKLIGHT Arsenal. GOODMAN really set up this Qui-Gon really uniquely. It's actually built from a solid Qui-Gon lightsaber built by Larble many years ago, and this was drilled out and modified so that it could have crystal chambers. It has accent LEDs underneath the slide-on shroud. I'm going to show you how to get to all the internals. What I did here to update the saber was it had the standard in-hilt LED. It got a new owner. So Master Addison on the fx-saber forums wanted this lightsaber to be NEOPIXEL. Now, one of the things that is funny about turning it into NEOPIXEL was the battery size. So this is a very small battery. It's a 14430, so it's even shorter than a AA, but it's about the same like width as a AA size battery. This one is just a bit shorter than a AA, so this is very small. These fit in the pommel section down here. Underneath the shroud, I'll show you the battery casing when I start to undo the body of the lightsaber, but this type of battery here is far smaller than the 18650 style battery that you normally want to power your NEOPIXEL lightsaber, but with this setup, at least I get to use two of these. So I wired two of these together, and that became the modified battery pack for the Crystal Focus 10 that I put in here. Now I've got a couple fonts on here that I added because it's a Qui-Gon. One of them is Fates. That's the first font I have on here. We have Green by Kyberphonic, Qui's Gone by K-Sith. I have Menace and Qui Gin Tonic by Juan Sith. Now this hilt, the way it's designed is we have the emitter here, and I have a pod for the NEOPIXEL. We have the wires going into the crystal chamber section along with the buttons, and the speaker is actually housed in this section as well. So the speakers are right about here, and it's pointing up, and it has to go past the recharge port and the buttons. So the speaker's actually below that button, right about there, and it goes past the buttons, past the wiring for the recharge port, past the board, which is back here, And there's very, very limited room in this Qui-Gon because, as you can see, there is the deep grooves. So this Qui-Gon is just like the movie version with the deep, deep grooves. And so it doesn't leave too much room for electronics, and that's why we have the smaller battery set than normal, and all the forward section is taken up with electronics, lighted buttons, crystal chambers, and a few other goodies I'll get to when I show you the inside. So considering that the speaker is right here and it's pointing up and we're very, very closed off here, we actually don't get good sound from the speaker with this lightsaber. As you can see, you know, the pommel is a flat pommel. It's not vented at all, and even if it was, all we have down there are the batteries. So this speaker is up here and this is all closed off. So let's pull the kill key and see. So we could tell that we have lighted buttons here. I have a fairly flat momentary switch. It's a very nice brass topped momentary switch. So we've got the forward button, that's the activation button, and the raise button is the auxiliary switch. Can hit both buttons at the same time to go into the spectrum mode to change the color. Spectrum. Now I do have basically any color that you want as long as it's green. So I have just different versions. Well, there's some yellowy greens, there's some bluish greens. Thought it'd be cool to just have the Qui-Gon be mostly green, variations of green. And I'm including a second SD card with more fuller color selection. But I thought this was kind of fun to have Qui-Gon set up for lots of different cool green colors, so you could fine tune your green. These are just, you know, some colors I programmed into the Crystal Focus 10. Once you save this color by tapping the aux button, it'll be saved in that font. Now, even though the batteries are real small, I haven't had an issue yet in the testing with the runtime at all, so I'm pretty happy about that. Battery pack is working well. 3.7 battery pack with 1200 milliamps there. You can see the recharge port. There is some light coming through the recharge port. That's from an auxiliary strip that I have running inside the Saber, an auxiliary strip of 5 NEOPIXELs. The Saber does have smooth swing. It's a Crystal Focus 10. All the fonts are smooth swing, and all the default fonts on here have been upgraded to smooth swing for us by Jedi Arms Dealer. Thank you, Jedi Arms Dealer. So all the default fonts are right after the 5 Qui-Gon fonts that I added here for Master Addison to play around with. And I've got the Robert Sotomayor blade effects, the blade styles. I'll show you those. So what you do is you pull down both buttons at once, and you get into the color selection, and then hold down the auxiliary button for 1 second to get into the Sotomayor 32 blade profiles as I turn the hilt. Let's see if the camera can pick up all the different nuances that are here. So this one is a overall flicker with a few different colors running up and down the blade. And then we get to kind of a different mode where the colors are pulsing up and down, or up the blade, but a lot slower. Oh, in this one, I don't know if you can tell, but in the center of the blade is kind of like a dead spot where the color is pulsing out from that point. And this one again. Oh, this one's like a nice, flashy, flickery, bright white. Color pulse. Faster color pulse. Oh, really bugged out flicker. This is a pulse that seems to be going from the top of the tip of the blade down to the emitter. There's a nice one. This is like a little one from the original Crystal Focus 10. It looks like the original blade profiles. This is kind of like a flickery one using two different colors. In this case it's like white and green. This is a fast pulse from the top down. This is where the white, it's whiter in the center of the blade, and the green color is at the tip and the base. Same here, but a little more dull. Maybe minty green in the center. Oh, this is a cool pulse using two colors. This one might do well for like almost like a candy cane type of thing if you were using red. Oh, this is the same thing, but bigger waves of color moving up the blade. That's actually pretty cool. Solid color, but with flicker. This is the grouping that I like with the different flickers, different pulses. This is a very subtle pulsing with two different colors. It's got the white and the green mixed in there. This is a little more denser, the same type of thing. Oh, here we go. This is nice. This is like a pulse that originates from the emitter and pulses up like fire, but slower. It's a little faster fire. Well, this one's interesting. This one is, instead of the two different colors pulsing upwards, it's kind of a random two-color design that rides around the blade in this random pattern. It seems like almost like it's raining on the blade. Maybe that's a little faster version. Oh, this is a heavy flicker. You could always do this in the Crystal Focus previous versions of the soundboard. If you went into your settings, now there is a blade profile to get that. Oh, this is a nicer pulse that's a lot slower, more like a real lightsaber type pulse in my opinion. Faster pulse. Faster flicker still. Getting faster as I rotate. Well, this is kind of a nice one. Maybe I would select that one. Let's see what else we have though. Ooh. It's like a dancing snow type of blade. Oh, this one is a nice pulsing from the emitter going up very slowly. This is kind of cool. This one looks like a living blade. And again, we have some spot in the center where everything's originating from. Pure white again. That's kind of nice. Let's go back to one of those ones with the subtle pulse like this. Tap the auxiliary button to get a hold of this one. Now that will be saved on this font bank for when I come back. this CF10 has been upgraded, updated. Let me show you how to get to the inside of this Qui-Gon lightsaber. Now, to take the blade out, it's not as simple as just unscrewing the blade retention, because as you can see, there's no visible blade retention. What we have to do is unscrew this rim right here on the tip of the emitter, and we'll just slide that up the blade. This is a dual star blade that I made for Master Addison. This is a Civilized Sabers blade. It's got 2 strips. It's got over 250 NEOPIXEL LEDs. They're all RGB. They'll do any effect that you guys can come up with. Any of the programmers that make effects, like Robert for the Crystal Focus 10. So what you do is, we've slid off this rim. You can see the parabolic blade tip there on the 32-inch trans white Civilized Sabers dual star. I think it'll last a lot longer with the battery pack if you use some of the dimmer colors. Obviously, and if you use some of the whiter colors, we'll have less runtime. So now we can see that there is that blade retention screw. We'll take our Allen key and undo this a little bit, and we can pull out the blade. Okay, so once you have the blade out, what you want to do is unscrew the faux red button, unscrew the belt clip. Both of these are screws. Now, as you can see, I have the kill key out. If I leave the kill key in, I won't be able to slide off this sheath. So take the kill key out. We also can unscrew this solid pommel here. There's a screw at the bottom. You can see the circuit pattern of our battery pack through there. And what we want to do is, going to slide off this shroud, the Qui-Gon shroud. So we're going to slide it off toward the bottom. So I can just push on this a little bit. Make sure the everything's kind of straight there, and just slide straight off. And you'll be able to start to see the crystal reveal through these holes here. So there's a number of ways to display the saber. John Goodman from ARKLIGHT Arsenal designed this and built this. This is really pretty, so let's show you guys what this looks like. Very nice reveal. I added a light right here. We made both buttons light up. There's some light coming through the recharge port from some lights I have underneath, and we have a dual crystal chamber that's lit up by 2 5mm green LEDs. Really like the way that animates. And as I pull off, you can see the battery cover that houses those 2 batteries for the 3.7 lithium ion battery pack. Just take a look how pretty that is. And it's not finished yet because there's more reveal. Let's see, actually, I'll show you through this window right here. That's another part of the reveal. When I open it up, you take the emitter and you just start unscrewing the emitter. And this is the reveal. Full reveal. take off the emitter completely. As you can see, there is a pogo connection system up at the top. We have some accent LEDs inside the canister, which holds the Crystal Focus 10. Now what you can do to gain access to your SD card is, let's maybe put the kill key back in. So we can, now that we slid off the shroud, I can put the kill key back in and cut power to the lightsaber while I remove the emitter portion, which behind this emitter is your Crystal Focus 10 and your SD card and your USB port are facing out. Now there are 2 screws that hold this in, so you can see there's one grub screw there, there's another there, and while I'm zoomed in here you can see that I've added some brass screens to the canister. Another little upgrade I could do, got a mesh speaker grate right there, and all of Goodman's excellent detailing. How we're going to gain access to the SD card, the USB for your customization, is we're going to unscrew these little grub screws just a little bit. There's 2 of them. And once I had the idea for this, it took a little while to get it right, but this is the pod with the pogo connections that you just want to pull straight out. You can tell that that was connected with a quick connector for 3 connections, and those 3 connections, there's some pins right there. I'm actually able to get to the USB with my finger, so it's pretty easy to get to. Now the cool thing about having this extra strip of NEOPIXELs inside the canister is that once I make my SD card changes, I could actually test it without having to put the saber back together and install the blade, because I could see through the window there what happened. As far as my blade style, my blade color, that's a little mini NEOPIXEL strip, so I could tell if all my changes work correctly before I actually put the saber back together. When you want to put your canister back on to go back to blade mode, just line up the pins and we're going to press it straight down. See if I can get these lined up. Press straight down, and what I'm going to do is grab my screwdriver again and tighten these grub screws in the front and back. Tight enough just so not only is it holding the pod in, but they have to be in there so that when we slide on our top here, that it clears. So what I do is I usually just rotate this a little bit. And then I do have some MHS lubricant right there already, so we just screw this back on. So, you know, you could always put your ring back on to be in a display mode in this way. Your display mode can include the canister as well. So saber kind of expands to longer length. If you were to display in this mode, you can even screw back on the pommel. Can leave off the shroud in this type of display mode. Put this back together. Kind of have to leave the kill key out so that we don't hit it when we slide on our shroud here. So the shroud goes on from the bottom. It's going to cover the crystal chamber as we go into kind of the working mode of the saber. Now any of these could be display mode. You could have parts showing through. The battery cover there, have the crystal chamber partially exposed. Slide it all the way up when you're ready, and just make sure you clear. There's a little lip on the bottom that kind of has to clear. Right there. And what I do is I put the belt clip in first. Can slide the pommel on and screw that on. Your red button, right there. And you're ready to go, all back together. When it's time to put your blade in, you want to put your blade in first and then slide over the blade. And you tighten your screw here. blade retention screw is actually hidden underneath there, right? So we screw our emitter lip back on, tighten that, tighten the blade retention underneath, and now we're gonna test. Looks like we're good to go. This has been a lot of fun to do. There were certainly challenges along the way. It came out great. I'm really happy that I was able to make a couple little improvements to it, which, you know, was hard to do because the GOODMAN Qui GON is perfect from the start, but, you know, adding a couple of little accent LEDs, some extra brass screens to the canister, and upgrading to Crystal Focus version 10 by PLECTER Labs with the NEOPIXEL was a really cool upgrade for this saber. Really brought it into the current time with the smooth swing and the blade effects and the color effects. So thanks again for checking out this video. If you want to see more lightsabers, come back to SpaceWindu channel. Also check out Civilized Sabers. That's where we make all the blades, all the NEOPIXEL blades, including this type, the Dual Star. We also do a Tri-Star, we do a K-Star. Saber the moment, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. If you want to see more of this GOODMAN lightsaber, head on over to fx-saber forums. My name is XRCoon on there. You can join for free if you're a total saber nut like me and some of my friends over there. Come and check it out. It's a lot more fun, in my opinion, than places like Facebook. If you're a real big saber fan, you're going to find some friends over at fx-sabers and the Rebel Armory. So those are two forums that are free. You could also check out the Custom Saber Shop forum. That's where I get a lot of my parts for building lightsabers. If you're interested in building lightsabers, you definitely want to know about the Custom Saber Shop. I get a lot of my blade materials from there as well. So if you're looking to build your own NEOPIXEL blade, you're definitely going to want to check out some of the stuff they have at the Custom Saber Shop, including the diffusers and the different types of enhanced blades and different blade tubes. Really excited to bring you this news that Albatross Junction comic book, the comic that I've been working with my friend Kevin on for the past 10 years and more, is coming out this year in June. The campaign is live on Indiegogo. You can go check it out right now. I'll put the link in the description, and what I'll do for you is play the trailer for our comic, and you can see what the story's about. It's a icy world without a sun, 1,000 years in the future, lots of action, monsters, aliens. Volume 1 is coming out. Volume 1 is actually 2 issues of the comic book. It's issue number 1 and issue number 2. We have story that's going to go on for over 200 issues. Get in on it right now at issue number 1. You won't be disappointed. Albatross Junction is a futuristic tale of survival on a frozen world without a sun. This book is 20 years in the making. Please go over to Indiegogo and check it out.
The sun. is gone. A voyage to a faraway world ends in tragedy. One last chance for survival is found on an unlikely planet. Genetic material brought back could change the future of our world. Albatross Junction.